It's been a long day, and I'm just sitting here, thinking about times past. Thinking about a video game that I haven't thought about in a number of years. I'm just sitting here thinking about LA Noire. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, should you play LA Noire in the year 2022? Well, what is LA Noire, I hear you ask? Well, LA Noire is an action-adventure video game released in 2011. It was released on the consoles of the time, that was the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. It also came out on the personal computer. But what LA Noire was most of all was a detective game inspired by film noir. It's technically also an open world game, but that's not important right now. First things first. We gotta know the locale. Well, LA Noire is of course set in LA. The title of the game kinda gives that away. But more precisely, Los Angeles in 1947, only 2 years removed from World War II. Many people head west for the glitz and glamour. But LA holds a seedy underbelly that keeps bubbling to the surface. Who are we playing in this setting? One Cole Phelps, former decorated military man from the 6th Marines. Many people treat Cole as a hero for his services in the Pacific Campaign, but he seems uncomfortable with this.
Well, it's a shame you don't like to talk about it, Cole. Ralph, friends who want to stay friends don't discuss religion or politics. And in my case, you can add the war to that.
Cole starts as a beat cop, but quickly rises through the ranks in the game, maybe chasing some form of self-validation. We now know our setting, and we know our main man, Cole Phelps. But what of the story, you may ask? Well, most of the story is told through cases that Cole Phelps works. Each case has its own individual story and mystery to solve, with some of these individual cases contributing to the greater plot and moving the story forward. We also see flashbacks of Cole's time in the Marines between cases. During cases, Cole can find newspapers that give more context to the events and characters, as well as many of the events happening in the background of Los Angeles.
Have a seat.
Thanks, Doctor.
How are you finding working at the clinic?
It's, fine.
Are you sure?
Can I be honest with you, Doctor?
I would hope so, Courtney.
I was hoping that the therapy would be more beneficial.
Treatment can, unfortunately, be very long-term.
So, I suppose we should break down what a case entails. The core of any case is the mystery. So let's start with the investigation mechanics. Whenever you enter an investigation area, for a case, a little tune will play. This one. When walking around, you'll hear a little charm. When you find an item you can interact with.
Maybe.
Bear in mind, not every item is relevant to the case. The game will let you know when an object is relevant evidence.
Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same.
Some items can be further investigated to find more information.
To my Adrian. This thing gets more and more interesting.
The other aspect of investigation is interviewing people. This is a good time to talk about the game's facial animations, which used a unique motion capture technology called motion scan, which gave the game facial animations using the real actors as the base. This is an important aspect of the game's interviewing sections, where the player has to deduce whether the interviewee is lying or telling the truth. So this is how an interview will go down.
After the Mexicans left, you didn't go anywhere near the car?
After I scared him off? No, I didn't go anywhere near that car.
First, you'll ask the question.
How did the car come to hit Lester?
He walks straight into the path of an oncoming car.
And then see the interviewee's response. Then you have 3 options to choose from. First, good cop. Use this if you think they're telling the truth. Bad cop, when you think someone might be embellishing said truth, but you have no real evidence to back that up. So when using bad cop, you're kind of baiting them into a response.
Right. So what did you take, Jacobs? Do you want my partner to pat you down?
I found a notebook in the glove compartment. I was going to show you. It's on the chair on my porch.
The final option is accuse. This is for when someone is lying and you have the evidence to back that up. So when selecting the accuse option, you have to choose the corresponding piece of evidence.
You signed your name and left it on the slaughterhouse receipt, Frank. We couldn't have you colder if we found you curled up in the back seat.
All right. I helped him. He wanted it to look like his car got hijacked. He's fallen for some dame up in Seattle, and now he's got to go start a new life with her. Goddamn fool.
If you don't have the right piece of evidence, you can simply back out.
Looks like I made a mistake.
The game will instantly let you know if you got the answer right or wrong. Answering questions correctly can give you more evidence. So what are the other aspects of cases you'll be doing? Well, of course, action. You can't have a big AAA game and not have some action in it. First is chases, which can happen on car or foot. Car chases are pretty self-explanatory. Well, we haven't talked about driving much. It's okay, but a little clunky. You can also drive around the open world between case locations. Or you could be just like me and make your partner drive you everywhere.
Isn't that the cow?
You know this place?
Sure. Near the old gasworks and signal depot in the warehouse district. I'll direct. So, tell me a little about yourself, Phelps.
It also saves you a lot of time as well, since it acts as fast travel. Next is combat, which takes the form of old fisticuffs and shootouts. They're pretty standard sections that don't stand out for good or bad. Another action thing you will occasionally do is tell people. This can be done on car or foot. Tailor missions are never great, but the foot tailor missions are especially tedious in this game, to the degree that I could not be asked to record any footage of it. So, that's how the case breaks down. But how do they mix? Well, the majority of gameplay in cases is the investigation aspect, but there are some cases with more action than others. You tend to see more action as the story goes on and the stakes ramp up. The game does have a tendency to put at least a chase in most cases, even when the case doesn't really call for it. Let's just say a surprising amount of people like to run in LA.
Let me get my things.
I knew it! Phelps, go after him. I'll try and head him off in the car.
Wendell Bowers! Stop! LAPD! Ah, fuck. This is open and shut, Shelby. It's too late, Sabo! Officer down! Watch it!
Hurt me!
Give it up, old man!
Ooh-wee! Benny's give me speed.
The other aspect I want to talk about is the open world. The game takes place in open world. The cases are quite linear. The only real thing you can do is decide which location to visit next, if you have multiple locations open to your case. So you can choose to drive to which location you want to go next. But as mentioned earlier, I get my partner to drive, so when playing the game I don't get to see much of the world.
You know the way. You can drive.
But if you choose to experience the open world of LA, what will you find? Well, mostly landmarks and collectibles. The only real activity you can do is respond to dispatches. Dispatches are basically much smaller side cases that you can do between your actual case. When driving between locations, you might get a dispatch call to investigate an area nearby. You can respond to them there and there, but you can also do them whenever you want, with the game giving you an option, in the replay case option, to explore the open world away from the main cases. When doing this, it gives you a chance to play said dispatches. The main problem with the open world is there's not much to do, and the way the game's paced doesn't give you much incentive to explore the open world. In fact, the game doesn't play like a typical open world game, it just happens to be set in one, but taking place in open world does immerse you into the atmosphere of the setting, which is hopefully what they were going for. An aspect of the game I haven't talked about is the desks. There are 4 desks which Cole is assigned to throughout the game, which are traffic, homicide, vice and arson. While Cole is at a desk, he'll be working cases related to that desk. But the most interesting thing is that Cole will get a new partner each desk, all with their own unique worldviews and relationships with Cole. This back and forth helps you understand Cole's character better.
So, tell me a little about yourself, Phelps. Are we friends now, Bukowski? We have to work together, don't be so touchy. I grew up in San Francisco. My father was in shipping. I went to college at Stanford, did 2 years ROTC before Marine OCS at Camp Elliott. Shipped out in early '45 as a first lieutenant and fought in the Okinawa campaign. I was wounded, shipped back home, did a year on the beat, now I'm here. So you won the Silver Star. I don't want to talk about it.
LA Noire is quite a unique experience, and one that I enjoy replaying, but I don't see it getting a sequel anytime soon. Its developer Team Bondi closed down shortly after the game and the DLC had come out. Team Bondi had its own set of controversies before they closed down. The publisher of Rockstar Games is focusing all its efforts in the currently, as I'm writing this, yet to be announced GTA game. So, should you play LA Noire in 2022? I would say yes. I've replayed the game many times and have enjoyed it every time. Some elements may not hold up, but it doesn't stop what works and is unique about the game from shining through. It was the best detective game I've ever played, until Disco Elysium. Well, there you have it. Give LA Noire a try if you haven't already. As for me, I think I'll stay for another case and another drink. Like and subscribe.